I realize that I'm just one man, and what I say only resonates with certain people. I don't get the views that I used to get and all that, and I've talked about that enough, but what I'm really here to say is that I don't really feel like talking about swirling anymore. I know that it's a shock because I talk about it a lot because when these channels out here are promoting swirling, or I should say the destruction of black people, because that's what it is, there should be a channel that continuously does what it can to counter that by talking about black love and talking against swirling. Many times there have been, uploads I've done that try to change black women's minds about black men and try to change black men's minds about black women. But what I've come to understand, it took me a long time, because even though when people were telling me that I should think this way and forget the people that are not listening, I still had hope that somehow in some way that they would come around and they would listen and they would get in their heads, understand that what they're doing is wrong. I'll never tell nobody what to do. I'm not your mother, and I'm not the keeper of your life. You do what you want because you are in charge of what your destiny will be. But as far as I'm concerned, it's a dead issue. There might be a story here and there to talk about when swirling comes up, but as a whole, swirling isn't something that I want to keep on discussing. And the thing about it, it just makes me angry. It really does. Because I get angry at both sides. I get angry at black men when I see them with these white women looking so foolish, thinking that they're going to somehow have a better relationship than they would with a black woman. A black woman will understand what a black man goes through, because a black woman goes through racism just like a black man. Now, black men don't go through everything that the black woman goes through. She goes through a lot more, but we can understand our struggle better than anybody else. In turn, and on the same hand, black women think that getting with a white man, especially, not other men, there are other men they mess with too, but getting with a white man especially is something to be proud of, is something to smile about. Getting all happy when a white man looks at you and gives you attention. And they get mad when black men tell them that, white men are not really checking for you. The black woman will say, well, if you think white men are not really checking for us, then you better think again, because you think wrong. And the reality of the situation is, whether white men are checking for black women or not, they're not really looking for black women like that. There are some out there that want to try to be with a black woman, that want to try it out. But there are not massive droves of white men out here looking to have a relationship with a black woman. Having you in bed is one thing, but having you as a partner in a relationship, or having you as a wife, having you as a mother of their child, is many different things. The thing that I will never understand about black people who swirl is the fact that they think that they have won some sort of lottery ticket, that all of a sudden their problems will suddenly go away. They won't be black anymore. Well, I should say, when I say that they don't feel like they'll be black anymore, they feel like they won't have to worry about racism anymore because they're a member of the so-called dominant society that will protect them. Not the case. It just gets annoying talking about swirling because it's a topic that makes me angry. Black women telling black men, that white men are better. Calling black men out for all the atrocities and evil that they've done to them. But when the white man does that to you, and the white man has done that to many black women, I don't hear black women saying, oh, all white men are this, but they will make sure they tell you all black men are this when certain relationships they have, 1, 2, or even 5 relationships they have with black men have gone sour and the black man has treated them like trash. They'll say all black men are like this. I'm gonna divest, from all black men. But they don't say it about white men that treat them like trash. Black men in turn talking foolishness out their mouth, talking about how black women are no good, this and that. But I don't hear you saying the same thing when white women are treating you like trash, when they're taking you for all the money you've got. And all these brothers out here that play football, all these brothers out here that make it and have money in their pocket more than the average brother out here, You think by having a white woman on your tail, or I should say, not on your tail, on hanging around on your shoulder, okay, around your arm, okay? You think that chasing her tail and her being with you as your woman makes you some sort of a better black man? No, it does not. See, when I look at black men that are with white women, I look at idiots. I see them as fools. They're fooling themselves more than they're fooling anybody else. They're not really fooling anybody to begin with. They're fooling themselves into believing that they have won the lottery, that they have finally reached the pinnacle, the peak of where a white man is, because that's where they want to be. And to top it off, to get to that final chapter, that final piece of the puzzle that links all together, they gotta have a white woman. They have to have a white woman. That's all. They look absolutely ridiculous. All you black people out here that champion swirling, that say you have no choice, you give up so easily on your own people just to go over to the other side because you don't want to be with a black person. I realize that now. Any black man, any black woman that swirls, any black man, any black woman that supports swirling, even if they're not doing themselves, they support their family doing it, they believe in that shit. And they're not for black love. They're not for black people. Therefore, I don't have to give a fuck about them. Sorry I cursed at the end of this video, but that's just how I feel. If you're swirling, you don't love black people. You don't. And that's just the bottom line. But it's your life. You do with it as you will. I am done.